Chapter 16. Nature Laughs. Prudence clutched the open grill and observed the still, hot day. She was sure that she could hear the earth popping. A heat wave had settled over the community, which was not a bad thing, she acknowledged. They'd got a break from the incessant rain. She studied the tops of the undulating hills, rising one above the other, and wondered what it would be like to lie on the top of what appeared to be their smooth surface. She laughed at that thought. Only the birds had that answer. As if she'd summoned them, 2 John Crows swooped into the trumpet tree to the right of the steps. They pirouetted on limbs, bobbing their red bald head about as if they were searching for something they'd lost and, not finding it, they opened their shiny black wings wide and soared high into the sky, out of sight. What bring out John Crow now? Prudence mused out loud. She sniffed but didn't smell any decaying flesh. Their nose better than mine, she said, and dismissed them from her thoughts. That morning, she'd got out of bed with her head clear and feeling strong, and it was not the Christmas or Easter season. She'd done more work in her room that morning than she'd done there at any other time, and she still had energy to do more work. Should she go to her garden or not? That was top of mind at that time. Taking a walk to her garden was something she tried to do, even for a few minutes each day. The clamping of feet on the ceramic tiled floor coming her way caused her to turn towards the entrance of the living room. She choked down her laughter when she saw Constance. "Where you going?" she asked her. "I going for a walk," Constance said, beaming. She'd powdered her face and colored her lips bright red. She'd marked her eyebrows with a black pencil but had not captured some of the stray white hairs. She'd twisted her hair into a bun at the back of her head and had pinned her tiny black hat with the purple feathers to the top of her head and sloped it towards her right ear. Her black, knee-length skirt suit clung to her plump form. She wore white stockings and black platform shoes. In her left hand, she held a black purse. She was cocooned in a cloud of perfume that Prudence didn't recognize. "How I look?" she asked, smiling, her eyes expectant. She twirled to give Prudence a good look of her ensemble. Prudence studied her, trying to keep a straight face. She wanted to tell her that she looked like a clown going to a funeral. Instead, she said, "You look good," and dragged out a smile before asking, "You sure you're just going for a walk?" "It is a nice day," Constance said. "Take off those old clothes and come with me." Prudence looked down at her baggy jeans trousers, water boots, long-sleeved striped shirt, and the rice bag and machete in her left hand. She patted the floppy khaki hat on her head. "I am comfortable," she said to Constance. She allowed her eyes to slide from Constance's head to her feet. "You supposed to be burning up in those black clothes. Don't tell me that you don't feel the heat." "I'll stay right here. My constitution can't manage that heat outside." "Suit yourself," Constance said. She passed Prudence and skipped down the steps. The material of her black suit shimmered in the sun. Prudence watched her bouncing down the steps until she rounded the corner at the end of the road. Where was Constance going? What kind of walking was she doing in God's hot sun? She was not doing a thing but setting up herself for heat stroke. Nobody who had strong sense would go for a walk in that heat. She glanced up at the clock. It was 2 p.m. She wouldn't go to her garden that day. There must be something else that she could do in the house. She went to the kitchen. Everything was in its place. If Constance hadn't gone for her walk, she'd have started dinner. Should she cook? Probably she shouldn't. Constance was set in her ways. She could cook when she returned. She would just have a snack. Prudence took her snack to the front veranda. She chewed her crackers to the music of the ticking of the clock on the wall beside her. Her eyes scoured the road. Lola had gone about her business. If she were at home she could have walked with Constance, she thought. The two of them were cut off the same cloth. She peered across the hill to Rose's yard. Nothing moved outside. That Lola better get back home before night, she said, as she took a seat in her rocker. She rocked and munched on her tough crackers, while trying to catch the crumbs as they fell. "I can imagine what Constance would say, if she was here," she said, kicking a crumb towards the doorway. "Late. For somebody who live in foreign," she always said, "you don't come back with any of the social graces." Prudence shrugged. If she was eating a few crackers, why did she need a plate? She finished her crackers and brushed off her hands. Time was going and Constance was not back. She could cook something. She didn't have two left hands, Prudence told herself. She returned to the kitchen and peered into the fridge. What should she cook? It was Tuesday. Constance cooked yams, bananas, dumplings, and curried chicken on Tuesdays. She would cook that. She hummed hymns as she moved around the kitchen. "Smells good," she said, smiling as the aroma of her curry enveloped the kitchen. The crackers had done nothing to assuage her hunger. "I need to treat myself better," she said. She'd only had a bowl of Constance's cornmeal porridge that morning. She tasted her chicken. "Taste good," she said. What were they going to drink? She wondered. She could drink water, but Constance would have none of that. She had to have a sweet drink with her meal. She would make some lemonade. That should be good enough. Prudence made her jug of lemonade and put it in the fridge. Dinner was almost ready and Constance wasn't back. Why was she worrying about Constance? Constance was a big woman. She could take care of herself. Prudence made a cup of tea, sat around the table and stared at the flames under her pots as she sipped her tea. "I should cook more often," she said, and allowed the smile in her heart to warm her face. "Woo, it hot out there." Prudence heard the strain in Constance's voice and stared at the doorway. "About time," she muttered. Constance burst into the kitchen, mopping her brows with her white handkerchief. "Oh, you cook," she said, before Prudence could say a word. "What you cook?" she asked, sniffing. "Curry. I was going to cook some ackee and saltfish this evening. Why you never wait until I come back?" She went to the stove, opened Prudence's chicken pot and tasted it. Millimeter," she muttered, her face twisted in disgust. "This need more seasoning. How you can eat this?" She grabbed onions, garlic, pepper, and thyme from the spice bowl, chopped them and put them into the pot. She sprinkled in salt, tasted it and nodded. "Much better," she said. Why did she bother to cook? Prudence asked herself. She should have expected that Constance wouldn't be satisfied with her cooking. She wasn't satisfied with anything that she did. Why didn't she learn? She was really dunce. "So what we going to drink? You know I can't eat my dinner without drinking something." Constance's voice swiped her thoughts away. "Drink in the fridge," Prudence said, struggling to keep her tone calm. She glared at Constance's back as she bent to retrieve the jug of juice from the fridge. Constance filled her glass with ice and poured lemonade into it. She took a sip and gagged. "I not cutting any nature, you know, Prudence. How much lime you put in this?" Prudence felt her cool dissipating like mist. "Fix it to suit yourself," she said, and left the table. She didn't cook gourmet, but she was sure that what she cooked was more than palatable. As she left the room she heard Constance mutter, "Big woman and don't learn how to do a thing. If I want anything to do right in this place I have to do it myself." Prudence paused mid-stride. Her lips quivered. Her hands balled into fists. She flexed her fingers, put her foot on the ground and continued to walk.